Hi, it's me, Paco, and you're watching Bad Witch Book. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today we're going to be a start of a 3-part series of videos. It is all based on witches, because it's fall now, even though it feels like fucking hell. We're in the middle of a heat wave in California. But besides that, it is fall, the beginning of the season of the witch. So, this is a 3-part series. The first video in this series is going to be top 5 witchy books. Now, I think before we get into the top 5 witchy books, first we're going to shout out Helen, because Helen helped come up with this idea. So, shout out to her. But, we're going to discuss what I like about witches, or my type of witches, because I know that witches can vary depending on the series. Like, my type of witches are very in tune with nature, in tune with like the mystical energies of the world. It is a very cultural thing as well. Like, it's a lineage, it comes from their culture, their people, their healers, just like all that type of stuff about witches are stuff I love. Yes, I also love a bad bitch. Bad, like, bitches, like a Maleficent or like a Wicked Witch of the West. But, like, my favorite are, like, the healers, kind of, the, like, people, they are a part of a community. I just love that about witches. But these are just some of my favorite, and, like, it all has to do with their culture, too, is what I love about witches. So these are some of my favorite witchy books. So, this is the only YA book, but I really did like this Poison Heart. Even though I don't think she states herself as a witch, very much her community she has breezies. Well, we're going to rewind that, because let me tell you what this book is about. This Poison Heart by Bayron. This is about a girl named Breezes. I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong. But she has a ability to control plant life, and she tries to keep it a secret. But one day, her birth family, she gets a thing from her birth family that her aunt died, her birth aunt, and has left her an estate in the country. And so her and her mom's travel to see what's this estate about, and they find out that the family had like this apothecary, and very connected to her powers she has. And so things go from there. So what I liked about this book, and why I pick it as one of my favorite witchy books, is the community that Breezes learns to grow, and more into the second book too. I love the like connection to plant life and nature and stuff like that was really well. So it was one of my favorite, like, especially like nature plant life witches books. This is it. So speaking of culture, the best one I've read recently that was really about like a part of their culture, it's just a feminine energy. Even if like I like I'm a guy too, I like guy witches. I don't call them warlocks, because warlocks are not witches. It's a different thing. Aren't male witches. It's a completely different thing. But, it's the Hacienda. I really like the witches in here. The witch in here we got. He, was very much a part of his culture. Like, it was his grandmother that was the witch before him. And I'm not talking about what this book's about. We're gonna rewind that. Again, I'm so excited to talk about this. But, the Hacienda is about a girl named Beatrice. She gets married to this man named Don Rodolfo, and she moves into his hacienda, and she notices that it's haunted, and so she asks the father, Andres, to help her out. And then Father Andres is actually a witch in like hiding, kind of. He's using the role as father to kind of hide from being like seen as a witch. But what I liked about the witches in here is it is a very cultural thing. Like, this is very much his, like, people, kind of. It was something he learned from his grandmother, so it has keeping with that feminine energy that I believe is so tied to witches, which is why I don't like the Sabrina show. I know it was the first season. Witches are not a patriarchy. Aside, and I can rant on that show forever. But, I really like the way that he talked about his craft, and his, like, just that. Like, the fact that he was the healer for the people, that they could go to him for their problems, was really well done. And this is like one of my top favorite books this year. Another really good series to read is The Bear and the Nightingale by Bayron. The Butcher Knight trilogy is really, really good and witchy, especially like the last book in the trilogy is amazing. Chef's Kiss. This book is a series about a girl named Vasya. She, her father, I think, is like a duke or a lord or something, like powerful. Like he's in charge of a lot of shit, and Vasya growing up can see the spirits, basically, like the spirits of the house and stuff like that, and she can communicate with them, and she tries to have them help her village. And then one day a new priest comes into town because her father gets remarried after her mother had died, and her new stepmother is very religious, and she brings a new priest into town, and he starts challenging everything and making things worse for the people. And I really like this series. Vasya is an amazing character. I love the connection of like the battle between religion and the old traditional ways of doing it, which is a very witchy thing. We get Baba Yaga in the series, who's like a favorite witch of mine. So I really enjoyed this. Perfect for the winter to read the series. And like speaking of mythology witches, we can't go without talking about Circe by Madeline Miller. Really enjoyed this book. I've tabbed some lines I really liked about this book about like her witchiness that just like stuck out to me. But if you don't know what Circe is about, it is about the famous witch from Greek myth, Circe. It is her origin story, and it is really good. I enjoy it. You got from her being born to like Odysseus showing up in the Odyssey. And Medea shows up at one point, so it is really good. And just like there's certain lines like I've highlighted and I thought really good. Like let me see. The opening line of the book is amazing. I really like it. When I was born, the name for what I was did not exist. It's a really good highlighted line. Let me see. What's another one I really liked? A witch with unbound power who would need answers to no one but herself. It's just really good. I love Circe as the like artistical witch. She is living my dream of just being by herself in a like hut by herself alone when I don't want to deal with people. I really enjoyed this. It was really good. The audiobook is amazing. So one of my last recent reads, the last book on this list is Wild and Wicked Things by Francesca May. This has to do with, it is a Great Gatsby retelling taking place in the 1920s. It is like right after a war happens where Annie Mason, after her father's death, goes to Crow Island to collect his belongings, and there she meets the mysterious Emile Delacrix, I believe is her name. And she is this very illustrious neighbor of hers. She's always throwing these wild parties. And what Annie doesn't know is that Emily is a witch and that she is doing magic, basically. And this book has to do with the fact that like witches are healers. You go to them to fix your problems. I really like that. It is very like dark and spooky. And so I really enjoyed this book. Like, oh, the cover is also like perfectly gorgeous and witchy. Like, this speaks to me very like, also too, this and Hacienda and even Nevernight are very much like a cultural thing. It is something passed down from mother to daughter. It is just this knowing of the world that I really like about being a witch. And yeah, so those are my favorite witchy books as of now. Maybe we'll do another part 2 to this video later on when I read more witchy books. But the next video in this series will be favorite witchy other media, so like movies and TV shows and like stories like that. So that'll be the next week's video. But let me know what you guys think. If you have any favorite witchy books, comment down below. Or if you want to discuss anything witchy. The reason we're not doing this video in October is because I feel, I don't know, September gives me very witchy vibes. Very like the harvest is coming into season. It is the beginning of fall. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I will check in with you guys, and next time, just check the descriptions for all my socials, and I will see you guys later.